Hey, Darkman here, and welcome back to Dragon Ball Super Chapter 7 review. Wait, no, this is Chapter 6. Chapter 6 review. So it starts off with Beerus and Champa just kind of like fighting each other over basically spilt milk's the gist of it. They had like the same birthday cake or something, and one of them ate more than the others, and now they're fighting. And every time they go to a planet and start fighting, that planet is destroyed. They kind of do this to like 8 planets. And it turns out that it was Vados' idea to give them 1 cake instead of 2, which doesn't really make sense. But it also turns out that she kind of like knew that this was going to happen. So she's kind of like more on the side, like she doesn't really care what happens to other people as long as something's amusing her, which is showing more of the differences between her and Whis. And then Beerus and Champa just kind of both start charging up with like their super death balls, and then they get knocked out instantly. And that is apparently why now instead of fighting each other, they use food. Like showing each other like off the best food that they have. And so then they're talking more about the tournament. Like Beerus is kind of saying that like why would he enter the tournament? He's gaining nothing out of it. He already has the Earth. That's for the victory. And then Champa kind of says, well, see that there are these giant wish balls that if you collect all 7 of them will grant you any wish, but we only have 3. Which is when Goku kind of just says, are these the Dragon Balls? Also, then they kind of go on to explain that the ones that they use are kind of like ones that are broken off of the Super Dragon Balls. So there are the Super Dragon Balls, which are the size of planets, and then there are those other ones that are basically, well, the original old ones were like pieces that were broken off. But Beerus is still kind of like iffy about if he wants to do it, or well, yeah, I guess. So basically, the Super Dragon Balls are just way more powerful than these normal ones. That's basically the gist of it, and they're way bigger. But Beerus still is kind of like not too sure if he should do this or not, but until Goku begs him otherwise, which is just like Goku. And if it wasn't for Goku, then we wouldn't get the rest of this arc, which is looking to be pretty cool. So then Beerus is kind of just like, fine, whatever, it doesn't really matter. So then the rules of the tournament are basically going to be like the Tenkaichi Budokai, where if you fall off the stage, give up, or become unconscious, you're out. Along with if you kill, you're out. If you use enhancement drugs, you're out. If you do any kind of cheating, you're out. That kind of stuff. But I'm guessing it's probably going to work more like the Dark World tournament from a Yu Yu Hakusho kind of, where like 2 people just kind of go up, fight, and like who's ever fighting will probably be able to either stay and fight the next person or like switch off. So I mean, makes sense. And so, but then Vegeta kind of like does this thing where like they have to be able to pass a written test to actually fight in the tournament, so then they can't just bring some like giant mindless monster. And so that's when they're kind of like discussing like who they should bring next, and they're kind of talking about like bringing like Piccolo and Buu. That's when Vegeta brings up Gohan, which Goku kind of says, no, he's lame now. He doesn't even train. He stopped training. He lost his gi. And Vegeta says basically what everyone thinks is that he's a disappointment, which Gohan used to be my favorite character, and you've fallen so far. But then Beerus has the idea, well, he knows who the last person should be. It's the strongest person that he's ever fought, which Goku and basically everyone else at the time most likely thought that it was Whis who he's talking about, but he kind of says that Whis doesn't count. And that's when Goku gets super excited, as like he has every other time he's found out that there's someone super strong. And that's when they head back to Earth, and they have, well, they get the idea to think, I wish I could talk all the time whenever I wanted to, and not mess up. So before, because Champa only had 6 of the Dragon Balls, also they had the idea to use Bulma's radar to find the last one. So when they go back to Earth, it shows that Bulma's now finished it. And then she also kind of has the idea that, well, I mean, if our universes are opposites of each other, then shouldn't our universe also have Super Dragon Balls? And so then that's when they decide that they should go and try and find them. But because nothing's showing up, because of how big the universe is, they're probably not close enough or anywhere near close enough. So that's when they get Jocko, and they're planning on going to the center of the universe and, well, kind of get more information. Because she kind of Bulma brings like stuff about the Dragon Balls up and like finding the center of the universe, finding where it is. And this is kind of when we find out that Jocko's a little ADD, because he's acting like any normal person would be like, you can't just pull me away from my job to ask all these stupid questions, but then he kind of just like looks away and like, well, maybe this guy knows, maybe we should go there. So they're planning to go and see Zuno, hopefully I pronounced that correctly. So as they're getting in the ship, Vegeta basically just kind of like says, don't do anything weird with Bulma, and then they take off. And then we get a scene of the Super Dragon Balls, which look to be more like moon-sized Dragon Balls, not really like the size of planets, but I digress. And the Nameless Planet, unless like the Nameless Planet's really just humongous, but then again, so would the tournament stadium. And that's when they're kind of talking about like who they should get, and Champa says, well, Beerus has some Saiyans, so why don't we get a Saiyan of our own? And that is where the chapter ends, and along with the last one, I can't make any more predictions, because I already know what's going to happen. So yay, this is fun! And yep, that's the end. See you guys in the next